Yeah, so I wanted to share that there is a new sort of chat app that's launched that is a wallet-based chat. So if you are like staked to Fluid Pool and are you on?
Yeah, but can't see anything.
Okay, where's my Discord gone? That should be. That's the one, isn't it? So that should be eternal. I'm just going to jump into Twitter to show you the chat app. So I haven't actually started playing with it yet, but I just saw it last night. It, in fact, came out a month or two ago in beta, but they're getting ready to launch if they haven't already. I'm going to sign in, and it will allow anybody to chat with anybody if you know each other's receive addresses. Is the crux of it. So it sounds obscure, and it's one of these things that's going to be hard to get your head around as a benefit when we've got the access to Discord and WhatsApp and all these very rich chat apps. Someone's mic is hot, but we'll appreciate it in time. Sort of like the move from local servers in offices to cloud computing. It'll be that sort of shift in mindset where actually everybody's got holiday expenses and maintaining it, which is what we've handed over to the cloud compute providers now, like Facebook, Google, Amazon, with their apps, WhatsApp, Discord, even. They're now hosting all that infrastructure, paying for it, and they're charging us by selling our data or showing us adverts, and that's kind of an invasion and a release of our rights, of our privacy, that we want to claw back. And so moving to be able to do things like chatting with each other one-to-one, peer-to-peer, without any intervening into infrastructure, is one of the aspects of blockchain technology that we'll only appreciate once we've actually got it and start adopting it. Because the idea that you can actually chat with anyone in the world without being tracked, without going through a Google or an Amazon, is a remarkable one that it's just hard to get your head around at the moment. So that's coming. I'm not going to bother logging in because I haven't done enough research on that yet to Twitter. But then the other exciting news for Fluid Pool is that we have got the Optim Finance liquidity pool. Sorry, not liquidity pool. Optim Finance SPO bond, they've called it, live now. So this is a way for us to, or for me to, gather a whole load of pledge for the stake pool at once. So I can just sort of get 1 million ADA pledge. I will be relinquishing my ADA rewards for the period, pretty much, but it will suddenly give us the opportunity to mint blocks every epoch. So we'll go from being a small pool that mints blocks. At the moment, with the amount of delegation we've got, it probably should be every month, something like that. And once the Astarter opportunity, we've all bought our AA tokens, we'll probably be back down to, every couple of months. But instead now, with this Optim Finance liquidity bond, stake SPO bond coming in, we will suddenly have access to 1 million ADA delegated to the pool, and that will give us the ability to mint blocks pretty much every epoch. So your rewards will start trickling in all the time now, rather than having to wait months in between. And so I think that should be showing on my stream now. Yes, even though my camera's not working. So you can see here.
You can see it?
You can see it?
Yeah.
Cool. So this is the Optim Finance dashboard that shows, and it's a lending platform. So effectively anybody will be able to use it in time. At the moment, it's just geared up for these particular type of loan opportunities, borrowing and lending opportunities that are. They've started with a sort of a community-friendly product to help small pool operators, which they see as very crucial to the decentralization of the network. By supporting new operators in the network, you're helping to grow the number of operators, and therefore spread the number of players who are actually minting blocks on the chain, rather than just the guys who got in early, got a load of cheap ADA, and were able to get success. All credit to them, but get success. We don't want that to be at the exclusion of newcomers to the space. So Fluid Pool, for example, has the opportunity to get in now, kickstart the growth really this year with a million ADA loan. So I put in something like 55,000 ADA over the period, but for that time, for the year, I will have a million ADA pledged to the pool, which gives us opportunity to mint blocks, and then any advertising I do will be far more likely to yield results, as we'll be sort of on a par with the larger pools in terms of performance. And there'll still be a minimal percentage increase you'd earn from the pools that have over, say, 25 million, but obviously less than 63. But there's it's cents to the dollar rather than whole percentage differences. So we're in good shape. And of course, we've got all the additional bonuses that come from being in a particular pool, like ISPO tokens and so on and so forth. So as part of this SPO bond that I've signed up for, which you can see under hot pools, we'll be getting an allocation of Optim tokens, which are the native token for this project, for this team, and they'll go on to release their lending and borrowing products for anybody and everybody with specializations in different fields across the ecosystem. So, if we want to do peer-to-peer lending, if I want to borrow some money from you guys for a while, I can set up a bond. You could jump in, lend me some of your ADA, or whatever token it is, and then you'll be earning a higher rate of interest on that return, and I'll be getting access to leverage some of your assets, and vice versa. All these things are suddenly possible. So they're a good team, very technical, very engaged in the community, very vocal and opinionated, as developers tend to be, who are young to this ecosystem. But yeah, I like them. I followed them for a while. I've been in several conversations with them. And so we've managed to secure one of these slots early, which means that we'll be receiving the million ADA bond. Actually will be financed from one of the sort of venture capital funds that sit behind Cardano. Charles Hoskins is involved in one of them, C Fund, and I think Wave Digital is another one. So they're sort of partnering up with these large ADA holders to provide them with a good return on their investment. So anybody who is lending into this platform to seek a higher rate of interest will get a return of 5.33%, and the borrower will be paying 5.5%. So there's a little margin there, which the Optim guys will make their profit from to then continue running the platform, serving it, and paying for their development. So really good system. It's a sort of win-win for everybody, I'm hoping. We'll find out over the time. But certainly, just takes a headache away from me, from having to claw and grab every possible person. I can now just go for a broader marketing. Don't have to argue quite so hard and get people in, because we'll be well justified. So exciting times. That, as well as having the Optim Finance opportunity coming up. We've got Machiavellic SBO tokens coming our way as well. And we've actually released an article with Machiavellic, actually. So they will be giving us a Medium post, a blog post, some point in the next few months, telling people about the pool, giving us a bit of profile, because we're one of the 16 pools, I think it was, who've been chosen to operate as the ISPO pools for that. So that's a RPG role-playing game being built out on Cardano, and as a delegated to Blue Pool, you'll get some bonus rewards in Machiavellic tokens, which you're very welcome to take part and actually use on the game itself, or you can sell them on. The other SBO tokens we'll be earning are from Optim Finance too, I mentioned earlier, but then also from this Astarter opportunity. As a partner pool to Astarter, we'll have an allocation of AA tokens that I'm going to be using to dish out extra rewards. So there's a whole load of bonus tokens that I'll be able to use to help market the pool and get us growing really rapidly. Quick whistle-stop tour of all the developments so far this year alone, and yeah, I'd like to move into a bit of Q&A now. So has everybody been able to see the latest instructions on the Opportunity DAO onboarding? There's a new form to fill in where I get details of the addresses you're using to pay into the Opportunity DAO Treasury wallet, and then which wallet will be used to stake to Fluid Pool, so that you can be assured of your merge staking rewards. I should perhaps go over that again, because it is a little confusing. So to participate in the AA token purchase, all you have to do is exchange some of your ADA for AA tokens, and those AA tokens will be released to you over an 18-month period, vesting period. And that's if you just want to get the AA tokens. If you actually then want to also participate in earning a bonus percentage, extra yield in your AA tokens, which is looking to be fairly significant, you can take part in their merge staking as well. So to take part in their merge staking, you need to have some ADA in Fluid Pool, or one of their partner pools, and also have some AA tokens issued to you. So the rate of return on, if you are in that situation, is talked about between 30% additional AA to up to 300%, and they've got this whole point system that will quantify how much you actually get back in additional AA tokens over the allocation you're purchasing. So to optimize your return from this opportunity, hold some AA, buy some AA through this launch, but then also make sure you've got some ADA, as much as you can, delegated to Fluid Pool. The proportion of AA rewards you'll earn isn't tied to the amount of ADA you've got in the pool, or to the AA tokens. If you've got a lot of ADA and a small amount of AA, then you'll earn the same as if you had a lot of AA and a small amount of ADA. So you can really sort of measure your risk and still be assured of the number of AA tokens you're getting in that bonus merge staking program. They're doing it that way so that because they're very much stake pool minded. They want this to be a growth and a distribution of ADA between all the pools. So having ADA it's seen as a lower risk investment, because Cardano is the native token on Cardano. It's a core coin on Cardano, and is always useful in every single project out there that's being built on Cardano. AA will be much more niche, but again, like Luca was saying this morning, if you are looking at a a new token like this AA1, which is launching, the growth potential in that is far higher than there is in ADA. So you can have, you could have, and it's all, guesswork at this point, you could end up with a lot more value being produced from your AA holdings than you can from your ADA, depending on market movements and how it performs, how the launches all go for the AA platform. And again, they've got sort of several technology layers coming out as part of their Astarter project. A decentralized exchange, a money market, so lending, borrowing, a bit like the Optim Finance. They're going to have a sort of oracle that will give insights into off-chain price movement that can correlate to their actions on-chain, probably be particularly tied to their dexes. And they've got another thing as well. I can't remember the name of it at the moment. So yeah, they've got a whole load of tech being built out that will be launching progressively over the year. Their first launch will be this month, apparently. So the DEX apparently is very close. So we should see that. They've got a launch pad as well. That's the other thing. They've got a launch pad which is a way of getting their token released to participants without having this complication of managing wallets and sending addresses to and fro. Like we're having to do it with sort of the layer one tech with wallets, multi-signature wallets and your wallets. A launchpad allows you to have a DApp. You just go in, connect your DApp, and then click some buttons to buy your tokens. And so it's a simpler avenue. It's not available yet from Astarter, so that's why we're going through the jumps to get this multi-signature wallet going. And thank you very much to Paul and Carol and Hayden and Luca for joining me in as witnesses on that opportunity multi-sig wallet. I think we've got it all sorted now, which is very cool. We've got it delegated to the pool, so we'll maximize maximize the rewards, the benefit to Fluid Pool of having the treasury delegated to the pool as well as all our individual wallets. So when we're moving money in and out of ADA, in and out of that treasury wallet, we won't be losing stake from Fluid Pool. So our ADA rewards, the frequency of them will keep high. Good. Well, I rattled off a whole load. Paul, you dropped a question, is that right? So if we're staking AA wallet and send, say, 4,000 ADA into the AA wallet, put the same amount of ADA into that same wallet, that will give us the additional opportunity. Yeah, so the ADA that you hold will be in your wallet, not in the Treasury wallet. Anything you put into the Treasury wallet will be used to buy AA tokens, yes. So that will effectively leave the pool. That will go into Astarter's kitty. They'll be using it to fund development and marketing probably around their project launches. And the ADA you've got in your wallet will count towards your merge staking rewards. So if you've already got wallets staked to Fluid Pool, then I've been it's my impression that any wallet that's staked to Fluid Pool, if they have bought into the AA token opportunity as well, when that AA is returned to us, distributed to your wallets, that is the wallet that will benefit from the merge staking. So the AA token and ADA in that wallet will contribute towards your merge staking rewards. Does that answer your question, Paul? Yes. So yeah, I mean, if by balance, if you mean the ratio of ADA to AA, it doesn't matter apparently. So you can have a low amount of ADA staked to the pool and buy a whole load of AA tokens, and the merge staking rewards will be the same as if you had a load of ADA and a few AA tokens. So that I'm yet to see the spreadsheet that shows the calculations, the modeling for the rewards program. John from Astarter is we spoke with him this week, and he's going to send that over to me. I haven't managed to have a look yet, and that will sort of fully detail the merge staking rewards. But at this point, the decision is, I wouldn't worry about the ratio. I would just think, how many AA tokens do you want to be holding? Or yeah, and again, even that is kind of unknown. We've got the basic tokenomics for the AA token. We've got the distribution portions, but we don't know really what the AA token launch prices will be, where it's going to move right after launch. So we're kind of just saying, okay, I would think of it like a money rule. If you were getting involved in an early stage ICO, initial coin offering, what percentage of your portfolio would you be willing to put into a high risk to new token? Because we've got to consider everything. Everything's so new. We've got to consider everything sort of high risk. So really, where's it going to go? How much are you willing to put in? And for me, I take a small percentage of my portfolio, and I'm willing to put it into these sort of initial token launches. Because again, with any of these, I must say, I'm all about openness, transparency, rather than leaving you full of hopium. There's every chance with a private sale in this sort of area of the bear market in particular. Now we're right at the bottom, I feel, so it's probably less risk, and the amount the amount you purchase, the purchase price you get at pre-launch, could actually be on a par or higher than the token price right after launch, and shortly after launch. So, this has been well thought through. This one has got vesting periods, so it's going to be a slow release of these AA tokens into the ecosystem. They do that to try and keep the price of the token, the value in the token, higher, because if there's a whole load of people who have access to the private sale, they buy it dirt cheap. As soon as the token has its initial token generation event, and everybody who's in that private sale is allowed to sell it, then that's what people do. They dump it then onto the market, which makes the price plummet, and people who are buying or are holding longer term, they lose the whole lot of value lost out of their holdings because the price is dumped, and the people who bought in, at the later stages of the private sale, maybe buying it for a higher price than is actually available for in the open market. So that, that's always a potential. And in fact, we saw that with the Genius Yield, which launched last month. So Genius Yield, another DEX platform, Launchpad, etc. They had a private sale, and some of their private sale prices were, I think the first round was 0.65 ADA per gens, and then they had three later tiers, 0.75 and 0.85, and then the sort of final pre-launch price 0.85. They launched their token, and sort of immediately on the open market you could buy it at around 0.7. So that if you were in the later stage of the private sale, you're actually buying your token on par with people who are buying it a couple of months later. So, is there a benefit to being in pre-launch? Well, it's early access. It's some additional information. You're aware of the project for longer. You get to have an interest for longer, and so your ability to spot rises and plummets may be better. But sometimes there's a benefit. Often there isn't. So again, I personally really like Astarter. I like the people I've met, spoken to. They are backed by Emergo, which is one of the founding three. So everything points to a healthy ecosystem. Even with Genius Yield, their token is now trading higher than that already. So initial launch, you might feel butterflies, but if they've done a sensible token launch, which I really feel Astarter are doing, and Genie Shield did a decent job of, then and we're already so early that this is a pain you won't feel in a year's time, 2 years' time, next bull market. The minuscule differences at this point, won't matter to you. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, there's a minimum of 3,400 ADA to get in on this. Yeah, Eric, it'd be great to see that. I'll send you over the details. There's a registration of interest form, and then I'll jump you straight through into the actual purchasing form as well. And all you need to do is send in, get your allocation of ADA. You've already got some staked to Fluid Pool, so you don't need to go through that step if you're able to use the same wallet. And you just send the amount you want to swap for AA tokens into the Treasury wallet, and that will assure you are part of the opportunity. The close date for buying or for sending your money into the Treasury is Monday the 16th. So after the weekend, we're going to close it so that we can actually get in with this purchase. The partner pool status or partner pool program is closing at some point. They haven't given a date to it yet, but the idea was that we got this done before end of 2022. So, but we've had the conversation and we're all fine now. We're yet to sign the SAFT Agreement, which is what the Opportunity DAO will be signing in correlation with the Astarter team to ensure that we are actually given the AA tokens at the token generation event, and then the Opportunity DAO will distribute it in proportion to your investment from there. So we've got probably a few weeks to get this all done in terms of Astarter's point of view, but we want to get that purchase happening sort of middle of next week. So we're cutting off access to this round on Monday, and then then it'll be between the Treasury wallet, making sure that we've got everything hooked up with Astarter and getting the agreement signed. I'm hoping to wrap that up by sort of midweek. And then we'll know that we're in partner pool status. There's some promotional events going to be happening with Astarter's media team and Fluid Pool. There's a Medium article being written and some promotional material being written. So we'll get a promotion boost from Astarter in the next week or so as well. And some invites into some Twitter spaces and things like that. So you can really start to participate in their discussion, get a bit of a higher profile in that project, which will be great for Fluid Pool and everything that means. All the delegators benefit from any activity around Fluid Pool. So yeah, it's all happening. So Paul, would it be wise to send a smaller amount initially, and we'll be able to see it on the Roundtable blockchain? Yes. So I'll give you the address to see the Treasury wallet. So that should be in my screen share now. If I go through to Fluid Pool, so that one is the Treasury wallet. So this wallet will slowly fill up with ADA prior to end of Monday, and then we'll be using that, what accrues in this wallet, over to purchase our AA tokens, and the proportion of ADA tokens you put in will be the proportion of AA tokens that you get back. So we'll see a whole chunk move out from this wallet to Astarter, and then over the 18-month period we'll see the AA tokens come back into that wallet, which we'll then distribute out to all participants. And in terms of sending a smaller amount first, you're welcome to the we've sent several transactions back in and out of it. I've put in 20 ADA into the Treasury wallet, and we've done several small transactions out again. We've also got the delegation of that wallet all working now. So, and we've had all people sign various different transactions. 5 of the witnesses, have all proved that they were capable of signing. So yeah, I'm seeing that as a pretty stable wallet now, and we can just make use of it. I'm happy to put my full amount in one transaction, which will probably be easier for accounting, bookkeeping purposes. But yeah, whatever sits most comfortable with you, you can stick into ADA first if you want to, and then put the rest later, just to make sure you've got all your ducks in a row. But just make sure you let me know about that, and I'll get it added into a spreadsheet I'll be maintaining, so that ensure we've got those accurate proportions known when it comes to actually making that purchase. So let me go over to the actual multi-sig wallet. So this is a web interface onto our multi-sig wallet. You can see here the balance. Did I pick the right one? Yeah, I did. Correlates with the balance on pool.pm. So for anybody seeing this for the first time, this is the multi-signature wallet. This is the ADA balance in it currently. It's staked to Fluid Pool, and that's our stake address. So you can see that represented in here as well. 17YCN matches 17YCN. And so this address up here is the wallet address, the receive address for that wallet. So you can always come to opportunitydao.fluid7.com to find that wallet address. If you want to, if you'll be paying investment money into it, you can find that wallet address there, and then you can also just search for that receive address on pool.pm, and that will instantly show you the full balance on a public blockchain explorer. This round table wallet is from ADAO, who are a DAO of developers pretty much on based around Cardano. Been around for a good while, attracted a lot of really high profile people in there, and the wallet is their first product launch. They'll have a sort of slightly more commercial version of this wallet coming out from Summon team, but ADAO have given all this code over open source. So I've cloned their Git repository, if anybody knows what that means, and launched this version of the wallet. So we're running this code now on our own instance on the Vercel cloud computing platform. So that means we've already got access to this user interface. I can also run it on a local server, so I can actually install that Git code and run it on my own machine. So if the internet goes down, I'll still be able to run a version of this wallet on my local machine. And so long as I can, I can prepare transactions, and so long as I can get that transaction actually accessible to the internet, then we can get that transaction written on chain. So there's multiple ways. If it came to it and the whole AI went rogue on us and tried to shut down blockchains, then so long as we can create transactions on our local machines, gather those signatures together, and like Paul, Carol, myself, and Hayden have been doing, then we can send those through to in one shot out onto the blockchain via the internet from anywhere in the world, and we'll be able to get transactions actually put through and move money around. So it's a very robust system, and this is sort of I really like the approach, the ethos of ADAO, in that they've thought about this. What is the most decentralized way? What is a way of building out a wallet that doesn't require any private code, doesn't require any private hosting? So Eternal, even we're all going through the Eternal wallet. We've downloaded the browser extension, which we have to get from Google. They can distribute the Chrome extension themselves, but we go through Google Store, Play Store to download it for Chrome or Brave or any of the Chrome variant browsers. And all the transactions by default go through the Eternal blockchain pipeline. But ADAO have written this out. Okay, let's make all the code open source. Anybody can change it, and we can change the user interface. We can change which servers we're using in the back end. So in fact, I've written this wallet, but which we're hosting on our servers to operate through the fluid pool relay. So we've actually got all the infrastructure for this wallet tied to fluid pool now, which is the epitome of decentralization. So we're not reliant on anybody to be able to make these transactions happen. We're running our own infrastructure, and that's the idea. You get small pockets of people gathering together to run their infrastructure, rather than having it all just handed over to Amazon or Google or Apple to run their infrastructure. So it's great. And I'm rambling. I'm getting too excited. Any questions around this? Some of the, just drop them in the chat or jump on mic, interrupt me. Very happy for that. I'll walk you through some of the features. So in this wallet, we can spend in a sort of similar way to you can with Eternal, so on and so forth. You've got the sending to address. You can send the amount of ADA. You can add NFTs and native tokens, send them through that. You can change the number of recipients. So this is one of the massive benefits of Cardano, is that you can actually have multiple recipients when you're creating transactions. So when we are issuing out the AA tokens, once we've been given them from Astarter, then I'll be able to create, any of us will be able to create transactions with multiple recipients and only pay a single transaction fee, which is, far, far cheaper than doing the same thing on Ethereum. So for, as an example, maybe I shouldn't, but I will anyway, like the Nifty store that IAW are using for the 5% NFTs and reward distribution, that is built on Ethereum. So for every sort of payout day, we're spending thousands of dollars on distributing the rewards, which are then obviously having to be recouped by IAW to actually pay for those transactions to make sure that IAW manages to survive. On Cardano, if we move that same process, which we are replicating in Opportunity DAO, that would be maybe £1 or $1 to do that full distribution to 100 different participants. So it really is economies of scale different, really much more efficient, and less labor intensive as well. So yeah, it's a good model. We're excited about what this can mean for the future. And again, because this wallet is open source, we can take the code and build out our own tools if we so desire. I can build an interface on top of this to actually have all this driven from a database of participants, of members. So we've got our sort of off-chain private membership, all managed in our own data store, which could be on a local database on my machine or one of my web servers that I manage, fully managed. There's no one that controls any of that other than ourselves. Of course, Fluid 7 is beholden to the UK laws, so if they went rogue on us, then we'd be susceptible. But we can just move that infrastructure to another witness to be running it for us quite easily. So it really gives us mobility and flexibility. The wallet itself has got some unique features. So you can see here, which looks like a whole lot of complicated stuff, but it's actually very powerful. There is the ability to have 5 witnesses. You can set up restrictions on any transaction. So to be able to move money out of this wallet, what we've got at the moment is we need 3 of those 5 witnesses to sign. So I can't spend the money on my own. Luca can't spend the money on his own. He is required to collaborate with at least 2 others of the witnesses. And so if Paul and I get together and decide to rob the wallet, then we can't do it without speaking to somebody else still. So it's a secure way. It relieves a lot of the liability from an individual, which is what you want to do as well, and makes it it's a far safer thing. It's like having 2 signatories on a business account. It's a very similar thing, but of course, all this is hosted away from the banking infrastructure. You're not relying on a private database. It's all on chain, all public, all viewable, and the history is written in stone, in eternal blockchain code, blockchain ledger. As an additional security benefit for this, because obviously, if over the 18-month period, say 3 of us end up, one loses a wallet, one passes away under the wheels of a bus, and one just goes rogue and decides to hate the rest of us, then it would mean that all the funds were then locked in that wallet. Anything that went into that wallet would then be stuck there because we couldn't gather 3 witnesses together to sign. And so, just again representing the power of the layer 1 tool set that IOG have built out on the blockchain, on the Cardano blockchain, we can actually add time locks, time policies to this witness wallet, these witnesses. So we've got rules that say 3 or 5 witnesses are required to sign any transaction for duration, or if it's after 18 months, then only 1 witness is required to sign. So if all goes according to plan, when we hit that 18-month period, all the funds will have been distributed anyway. So that means that the wallet should be empty, and so having 1 person be able to sign isn't an issue. But it also means that if 3 of us end up at the end of a sniper rifle, then we can actually get the remaining 2 can get the funds out and distributed after the 18-month period. So the worst case scenario is that something goes wrong during that time, and we all have to wait 18 months to get our tokens out. But we know that they can be taken out. So very powerful tool set, which has given us a really, really good primitive set of primitives that we can use to form our DAO and really distribute liability and risk from individuals. It's great. I'm loving it. It's good fun. So anybody any questions? Let me get the URLs for you, Eric, and I'll send you the forms for signing up, registering interest. And now I'm not very good at doing 2 things at once, so if anybody's got something they want to talk about, ask about, feel free. Now's a great time while I just fiddle about with my computer. There was a registration of interest form. Okay. So the form will detail everything that you need to give us to register, Eric. And then there's a second form that will give you instructions on how to actually make your payment into the Treasury wallet. There's also a couple of videos I recorded for helping people get actually that was more to do with operating as a witness, so that's not crucial for you. But this registration form will be. Oh no, that's not the link, that is the actual data source. So I want a starter. Registration of interest form. There we go. So we've got 25 people taking part in this opportunity so far. I guess you'll be the 26th, Eric. And that is the form for registering. Then we'll have an additional form for participating. There are some instructions in the Opportunity DAO server as well. So any questions, if you want details on progress, where we're at, jump in there. Oh, you're already on. Great, nice to see you. And yeah, we can manage that independently of Fluid Pool, independent of Fluid 7, independent of IW, independent of any individuals, and that'll just be us as a community group working together on an opportunity. Great, so hopefully those forms will get you through what you need. Any questions, just give me a shout. And yeah, the cutoff for that is going to be Monday. Great, okay, so question from Paul. Do you have any info on the new Freeloader Series 2? So again, Paul, you are ever on the button. You have spotted one of the opportunities, one of the bonuses that I'm going to do through Fluid Pool. And in fact, I think I might do the first sort of promo thing that I'm just going to start. So what I want to be doing each week, probably each Cardano Q&A, I'm going to run a like a little lottery. So I'll take down all the participants in this week's call, and I will enter you into a lottery. And then next week's call, I'll spin the wheel, and whoever comes up as a winner will be given a Freeloaders Series 2 NFT, which Paul has just mentioned. And those Freeloaders NFTs, which are rather beautiful, I must say, I do like them a lot. That will give you a percentage savings on your transaction fees when collecting your Gimbal tokens as a delegate to Fluid Pool. Now, that is another bonus benefit of Fluid Pool that is launching. Paul got in there early, ever on the button, and started claiming some tokens before it was actually properly ready. That is now working, Paul. There's one final tweak to the smart claims platforms that we requested. Actually, there's two final little snag things, but none of those are a problem if you want to start gathering your Gimbal tokens now. So if I look in here, I'm just going to show you. So these are the Series 2 Load Warrior NFTs. if you can see them on my screen share. And they're spectacular images, really quite cool. And related to these, there is a reward, a sort of bonus percentage reward that will get you a discount on your fees, your smart claims fees, and that will work in perpetuity. So you'll always be able to get savings on your transaction fees when collecting Gimbal tokens, for example. And so the smart claims platform itself is this team, Freeloaders, the team behind smart claims. They have a digital artist who's produced those Load Warriors NFTs, and that's this Wernist.io, and so he's produced these NFTs, given them to Freeloaders DAO, and if you hold the FLZ token, which again I have some of, I'm able to vote on which projects get brought into the smart claims platform and things like that. So there's a whole ecosystem in and around this smart claims platform that we're able to partake in if you feel so inclined. But ultimately, it's resulted in this token distribution platform called Smart Claims, and I'll just demo quickly with my wallet. So I've just unlocked my wallet that's staked to a fluid pool. I'm going to switch on the DApp connector for that wallet in Eternal, and I'm going to jump into the Smart Claims DApp. I'm going to connect my wallet to this DApp. I've previously connected, so there was no signing or anything like that. And then I can go into rewards and claims, and here you'll see I've actually got 2 lots of Gimbal tokens that I can claim, and anybody who's delegated a fluid pool can now go in and do this. And you can see I can grab 96 Gimbal tokens in this allocation and 48 in this one. Now, one of the final snags we've actually got is that when you go and claim these, I think there's a bug at the moment where it will fail on one and work on the other if you try and do it in one transaction. So they have this claim all button, but I think you can only actually claim one at a time. That was my experience. I don't know whether that was just something I did in the UI that was a little odd, because I have been playing around with it a lot. I've been doing some beta testing for them, but I'm not sure if the claim all at once is working or not. You can try it. The worst that will happen is that you'll only get one sent through to you, and you'll have to wait. You have to then come back and do the second one, which you're paying 2 transaction fees. But yeah, transaction fees are so cheap on Cardano ADAs, so cheap at the moment anyway, that it's not an issue. But yeah, you can actually then go and get those Gimbal tokens into your wallet, and you can start to claim your bonus rewards by from being a delegated to Fluid Pool. You can then, of course, go to Tap Tools and check out recent price action on the Gimbal token. Now, I must say there is crazy price action at the moment, and this is because there are so few Gimbal tokens out there. So in the last 7 days, we've had a 900% jump in the value of the token. So it's sitting around 0.0176 ADA at the moment. Now, if you've got 1,000 gimbals and you go and try selling them, you might struggle because there is so little liquidity on the exchanges. The Gimbal token is yes, Paul. The Gimbal token is a community token that is very much. I've been involved in the tokenomics right from the beginning, and the whole team, the whole intent of the token is that it is a token that is earned and rewarded as a low fluff, no fluff token. So we don't want any marketing around the Gimbal token that will inflate the price crazily. We've tried to keep it low and out of the spotlight. we have been rewarding people with Gimbal tokens if they've been participating in the community by bookmarking YouTube videos, so creating time slots and giving this to the bookmarks to actually jump through the community videos on YouTube. That's been done by the Catalyst Swarm team, which I'm a member of as well. So people have been earning gimbals by participating in community benefiting activity. So that's the way that's it. Really, the only way to get your token up to this point. The other ways are by delegating to either Peace Pool or Gimbal Pool. Both the Gimbal and Peace Pools are run by the Gimbal Labs founding team, James and Roberto. There's another couple in the founding team, but James and Roberto run stake pools themselves, so you can stake with them, and you'll actually earn a slightly higher reward in gimbals than you would even if you're in Fluid Pool. So I endorse anybody staking to those guys. I love the team, love their ethos. Roberto's been responsible for the build out of Dandelion. James has been responsible for the build out of Gimbal Labs and their project-based learning programs. Go on for Plutus. They're working on tokenomics. They've got several on bonus bounty boards and things like that. They've got real applications coming out of that team, and they're constantly educating people and building out the developer ecosystem in Cardano. And so that Gimbal Labs team, they've done this tokenomics program for the past year, and the Gimbal token is the result of that. And so as part of that founding team, I've been given a nice chunky allocation of it, which I will be using to reward delegators and as bonus rewards to people who've been OGs in the pool. So if you are yet to sign up on Discord, delegate to Fluid Pool, register your wallet on Discord so that I can see you as a verified staker on Fluid Pool. And in Discord, if you've been through those steps, then you'll have an additional role against your name for staker, and you can access the private staker channel. If you go through those steps, which is a bit of a headache, but it really gets you practicing all aspects of operating in the DeFi ecosystem, then you'll be rewarded with some bonus Gimbal tokens. But now anybody can also go and claim them, a small amount from the distribution platform on Smart Claims. So that is open and usable now if you want to go and grab them. We've gone with the Smart Claims platform again because they're a DAO, they're community minded, but the primary reason is that they, instead of on drip drops where you have to go every 5 days, every epoch and claim your tokens, on the Smart Claims platform you can actually leave them to accrue over time. So you can go once a month, once a quarter, and the tokens from the previous period will still be available to collect. So that way you're reducing the transaction fees you're spending, and you don't have to be a slave to the Smart Claims platform. So yeah, really nice to build out platform. It's got some good looks to it as well. So I'm excited for that. Good, there's questions firing in left, right and centre, so let me catch up on those now. So Carol, yeah, struggling with the audio. Yeah, don't know. You can jump out, jump in again, try again. That often works with Discord. Sometimes it's just a bit biased against people for some reason. Why is the receive address changed in my Eternal wallet? So that is a layer 1 function within the Cardano ecosystem. There are multiple receive addresses attached to any single wallet. So if you have an address on the Cardano blockchain, that's effectively a wallet, and you can have multiple addresses all tied to that same sort of original core wallet or address. This is a sort of way to create some flexibility, so you don't have to have a single address for eternity. you want to stop using one because it's ended up in the wrong place somehow, or it's public and you didn't necessarily want it to be, then you can just use a new one in different places. Or if you want to be able to track who's used which address, you can see the from address in any transaction. So you can use an address. So there's multiple addresses for every wallet. So in Eternal, what's useful is that you can go back and see all your previously used receive addresses. So this one at the top, this first one, will change every time you transact, I think, in Eternal. So what you can do to actually see your historical addresses is go into this, drop this accordion down here, show used additional addresses, and down below you'll be able to see a list of all previous addresses that you've used, and I've used a lot on this wallet already. There are also staking addresses and others all attached to this single wallet. So even though it's just one wallet, it's got multiple receive addresses that you can use. And so whenever I ask for a receive address in Opportunity DAO or anything like that, even within signing up for the Discord staking registration, staking role, you can use a different address each time, because what typically we're doing is we're typically tying your addresses together under the stake address, which is far more stationary and stable. So this stake address, stake 17YCN 4Z for the Treasury wallet, that's tied to Fluid pools because it's delegated there, and so that stake address doesn't change. So there's precautions around doing it this way, but you can effectively use that stake address to find and ensure that the person or the wallet that you're interacting with is the correct one. And any of those receive addresses you can search on a Cardano blockchain explorer, and it'll tie you back to that same wallet, that same stake address. So that's a way to help keep track of it all. So yeah, don't worry about the address changing. It's a feature, not a bug. Yeah, just catch me on DMs, and if you've got any questions, Carol, I'll jump back in. Good Jaya, did you have a question? Do you have our name from the Astarter opportunity interest list? Yes, if you want me to pull up the details from your original entry so you can make sure they're correlated. I have that list here. So Jaya, I'll DM you with your entry, because I think that's what you're asking. If not, just give me a shout back. Yeah, so oh, sorry, that wasn't supposed to be ADA, that was supposed to be USD. The minimum investment for the Astarter opportunity is 3,400 ADA, which was the ADA equivalent price of $1,000 when we fixed that price. That won't be the price we actually purchase at, and you'll probably earn at this moment, because ADA is lower, you'll get more to the dollar, and so you'll actually end up with more AA tokens. But yeah, all that exchange shenanigans is unavoidable. So we just work with prices, round numbers that we're able to get our head around. Great. Any other questions? Anybody struggling with moving or knowing exactly what's been asked of you for the form? Give me a shout. I'll be around answering questions over the weekend as well. So make sure we can get it all done before the end of Monday. But yeah, it's happening. It's all good. Any more questions? If not, I think we're probably ready to wrap up the recording anyway, and any one-to-one help you can do maybe for a little while if you need it. But yeah, that's been a great call. Good start to 2023. I'm feeling very confident about the year ahead. This recent 25% jump in price has been very nice to have. Brought a smile to many a face, I'm sure. And yeah, I think we're going to have a good year. So please do come along to these calls if you're watching this on YouTube, and join in the conversation. Great. I'll see you all